in a moment of desperation with nowhere to go, nobody to turn to, not knowing anybody, he went to a phone booth and got out a phone book, went to the letter K's, and just started calling people with the last name Kim, figuring that they were Korean. And sure enough, before too long, somebody who didn't know my father from Adam answered that call and agreed to drive down to the St. Louis YMCA, pick my dad up, and let a complete stranger, my dad, stay with him until he could get on his feet. And my dad eventually got a job, put himself through school, and the rest is history. When I was younger, I would often think about that story from the perspective of my father, the desperation that he had in that moment, the courage that it takes to leave everything that you know thousands of miles behind, to travel to a country where you don't know the culture, where you don't know the language very well, to take that leap of faith for yourself, for your future, for your family's future. It is the same leap of faith that immigrants have been taking to our country for hundreds of years, and they do to this day still. It is an essential part of our shared American identity. But as I've gotten older, I've thought about that story more from the perspective of the person who got that desperate phone call from my dad and decided to answer the call. The person who reached out a helping hand to a complete stranger when they were in need and permanently altered the trajectory of that person's life. And I asked myself, am I the kind of person who would answer that call? Am I teaching my kids to be the kind of people who will answer that call? If you want a job that really matters, where you are answering the call to your fellow citizens, then you need to work in the DC Superior Court. It's such a privilege to be a part of this court family, among a community of people who are devoted to answering that call every single day. Our courtroom clerks, our staff at the answer questions at the counters, who pick up the phone, to our mediators, every single person, to our court interpreters who make our proceedings understandable for people like my parents, for whom English is not their first language. Every day, in ways big and small, you all inspire me. And I just want to close by saying thank you so much for allowing me to be your colleague. I have a long way to go, but everybody here inspires me to be better.